A good day to everyone, and thank you for being here. So, before we start, let me share a simple moment we all know. Assume when we walk into a dark room, the first thing we usually do is switching on the light, right? And when we press that switch, we hear a small click. That tiny click tell us the light is on or it is worked. And it is quick and it is clear, but we don't even think about it. But that tiny bit of feedback help us feel sure about what happened. So in digital products, we don't have any real switches or real clicks. So instead, digital world use small signals like a tapped response, a tick mark, a change in color, a tiny vibration. So these tell us something changed because of our action. And these tiny signals are what we call micro interactions. They help us understand what happening, guide us, and make everything feel smooth. So today's talk, from touch to feelings, is all about what micro interactions are and why they matter and what's coming next. Then, so we can start with a simple example. Nowadays, we all use WhatsApp, right? And one of the most familiar micro interaction we see every day is the WhatsApp typing indicator. When we send a message to someone, the other person is responding, where we can see three bouncing dots. It's look very simple, but it has a huge impact on how we feel during the conversation. The moment we see these three dots, we automatically think, okay, they are typing, they are still in the chat, or we will wait. It removes that small stress or confusions we feel uh, when the chat goes silent. And what's interesting is that this micro interaction doesn't show us the actual message. It's only show the presence of the other person. And also it's basically tell us, I am here, I am responding, no, don't leave the chat. And because of this tiny animation, the whole conversation feels smoother and more connected. It creates a bit of anticipation and keep us engaged. And also we can see in WhatsApp, double tick and blue tick. A single tick tell us the message was sent, and the double tick tell us it was delivered. Blue tick confirm it been read, right? Then these are such small icon, but they change how we feel, whether we should wait, follow up, or expect a reply. So even though these are tiny details, three dot, a blue tick, and a double tick, right? They play a powerful role in making our digital conversation feel more human and alive. So again, just like WhatsApp typing indicator, uh, this is another example of how micro interaction quickly shape our experience. Instagram heart animation, something all of us have done many times a day, right? Uh, if we double tap a image, the post get liked, or when we tap the heart icon, it does the same thing. But the real magic is what happens right after that tiny hearts pop and the counters popping up. Right here we can see the number is changing. It's quick, it's simple, but it feels surprisingly satisfying. In that moment, the animation clearly confirms that our likes has been added. It's such a small detail, but it adds a little emotion to something as basic as liking a photo. And that is exactly what micro interaction do. They turn simple action into moment that feel smooth, clear, and a bit more alive. So before we dive in, let's quickly look at what micro interactions actually are. So, micro interactions are those small little moments in a product that do one simple task but make the whole experience feel smoother and more human. They guide us, they give us feedback, and sometimes they even add a bit of delight without realizing it. There are few things that make them special. First one, they are purpose driven. Every micro interaction has a clear job. Maybe it's guiding the user, showing system status, or confirming an action. And second one, they give instant feedback. The moment we tap, swipe, or click, something responds immediately. And that tiny response makes us feel like we are in control. Third, they are user centered. They are designed around how we naturally behave. So even complex actions feel simple and intuitive. And finally, emotionally engaging. That we talked about WhatsApp typing indicator and Instagram heart animation. Those little moments add personality to a product, and they create those tiny sparks of delight that make an experience memorable. So even though micro interactions are small, they play a huge role in how we feel while using a digital product. Now that we know what micro interactions are and how they add meaning to our action, then let's look at why they feel so good and natural to use. So this slide is all about why micro interactions feel so natural and satisfying to us. It's not just design, but it's but there is a lot of psychology behind it. First one, cognitive load reduction. So micro interactions take away the mental effort. When the interface instantly react, like showing a small animations or giving a cue, we don't have to think twice about what happening. Right. It makes even complicated tasks feel simpler and more effortless. Next, visual attention. Tiny moments usually guide our eyes. A small animation can point us to what's important without shooting or distracting us. It's a gentle nudge that keeps us focused on the right things. Then we have perceived performance. Even if something takes time, a good loading animation makes it feel shorter. So our brain is occupied and we understand the progress and we don't get frustrated. That's why good micro interactions can make an app feel much faster than it actually is. And finally, emotional connection. Those little delightful moments like a heart bounce, a smooth transition, or a fun icon create a positive emotion. They give the product personality and make us feel more connected to it. It turns a basic action into a tiny moment of joy. So, micro interactions aren't just for aesthetic or polish. They work with our psychology to make the entire experience feel clear, smoother, and more human. Then now we understand the psychology behind micro interactions. Let's talk about something many people get confused about. That is micro interactions and micro animation. Both are both have moments on the screen, but they are very different and serve different purpose. Micro interactions uh, are the tiny response that happens because of us. When click a button, it pops. When tap, it change the state. When it hover, it highlight. We can see here, right? So all these quick response have that to say, yes, I heard you. Something just happened. So they are fast, functional, and completely user triggered. Meanwhile, animations. just do their own things. They don't wait for our input. They simply play in the background, like a floating shape, a loading sequence, or a continuous spin. They are there to set the vibe, make the screen feel alive, and guide our eyes around. So the simplest way to remember is what micro interaction is. Micro interactions are respond to us, and while animation are decorative motions. So now that we understand what micro interactions are and how they work and how they differ from animation, let's take a step back and see how far they are come. So micro interactions have changed a lot over the years. We started with very basic things like a simple button click and checkbox ticks. Nothing fancy, but just small action that told us something happened. But today, they have gone into something such smarter. Micro interactions can guide us, teach us, reassure us, and even make app feel more human. They help our digital experience feel smoother, clear, and more alive. So this is the journey we're about to explore how these tiny moments evolve from basic click to intelligent and emotional interactions. So let's start the timeline with early 20s. Simply means the year from around 2000 to 2005. This time, a time when interface were very basic and very straightforward. Most UI elements were skeuomorphic, lot of thick gradients, 3D edges, and glossy buttons that tried to look real, but even though they look heavy, they didn't really interact with us. When we click a button and then just wait, no hover state, no tiny animation, no instant feedbacks, just a page refresh or a basic loading screen. And here we can see those typical UI buttons here. Everything worked very static, very flat in behavior, even if they look 3D. Overall, interface worked, but they didn't feel responsive or alive yet. This was the starting point before micro interactions really took off. Then we moved to early 2010, the year around 2010 to 2014. In this period, everything changed, mainly because iPhone became popular and responsive design took over. Suddenly, our interactions moved from mouse mouse click to touch. This is when flat design started taking over. In this era, interface become much clearer, lighter, and more minimal. Micro interactions also started becoming a normal part of mobile experience. Some few big things define this era where flat design become popular, few gradient, fewer heavy effects, and interface were optimized for touch. Larger button, smoother gestures are the examples for this. And pull to refresh become standard gesture. And also symbol transition and small feedback animation started appearing. Here we can see how UI elements look. Clean buttons, switches, and loading spinners that felt more modern and touch friendly. Overall, this era made interface feel faster, lighter, and more natural for mobile devices. Then, as touch interface become the norm, designers started looking for a way to bring more meaning and personality into motion. And that's when the mid 2010s, roughly around 2014 and 2016, brought a huge change. In 2014, Google introduced material design, and it's completely changed how interface felt. This era focused on depth, motion, and physics also. Instead of flat elements just sitting on the screen, everything started to behave more realistically. We got elevation and shadows that help create hierarchy, and buttons and card started lifting slightly when touched. And of course, the famous ripple effect become everywhere. Ripple effect means a simple tap suddenly felt alive, and motion also become more meaningful. And animation followed physics like ease in, ease out, making interaction feel smooth, intentional, and predictable. So some highlights from this era is material design launches and shadows and elevations return, ripple effect become standard, motion feel physics based instead of decorative. So here we can see some examples: elevated cards, ripple effect, and a smooth transition respond instantly to touch. Overall, this era made interface feel more real, like they have weight, space, and a bit of personality. Then came the late 2010s, roughly 2017 to 2019, when micro interactions started become smarter and more intelligent. Brands started realizing that these tiny moments could actually how show personality, not just giving feedback. So we began seeing fun little animations everywhere. Things like cute loading messages, friendly success screens, and even small celebration when we finish a task. Also, these touches made interface feel warmer and more human. And some key trends from this era were design that reflect brand personality and celebration style animations like sparkles or cute icons, and empty state that feel friendly instead of blank, and haptic feedback in becoming more common on mobiles. And here also we can see some examples for this era: a playful success message, a head animation, and even a loading screen that feels alive. So this era made micro interactions less about function and more about creating a moment that actually make wheels feel something. And then we move to today's micro interactions. Interface pay attention to user behavior, user context, and even user uh, preferences. Things like a dark mode turning on automatically at night, app adjust layout for accessibility, or AI recommending actions based on how user use the product. So, some key trends in this era are AI-powered adaptation, context-aware responses like adjusting to time, location, or activity, like that. Then personalize the experience that feel tailor-made, and accessibility-first design becoming the norm. Here also we see some examples: smart suggestions, automatic dark mode, personalized layouts. Everything feel more adaptive, more predictive, and more personal. So micro interactions today aren't just visual cues; they are intelligent, responsive companion that adjust to us in the real time. So now that we have seen how micro interactions evolved over the year, let's quickly break out why these existing in the first place. So these are the four main purpose behind any good micro interactions. First, communicate. These are the moments that simply tell us what's going on, like form validation message, upload progress bar, or success confirmation. They help the user understand the system instantly. Next, guide. These micro interactions direct attention or show what to do next. Think of button hover state, tool tips, or those tiny onboarding highlight that gently nudges in the right direction. Then we have prevent. These stop mistake before they happen. Things like real-time form validation, disabled button, or small warning messages, all designed to save the user from doing the wrong thing. And finally, delight. These are the fun ones. Examples are the like button interaction, achievement celebration, cute Easter egg interactions, etc. So they create emotional moment that make us smile and help build connection with the product. So whenever you see a micro interaction, it's usually doing one of these four jobs. Sometimes even two at a time. Then, all right. So after understanding what micro interactions do, let's talk about how they feel, especially how digital product try to recreate um, real world touch. So this slide is all about how digital product try to recreate real world touch. That little bit of physical feedback we naturally expect. Uh, Here we have real world touches. Things like a physical button that give a click and toggle switches which that satisfying snap and dial control that have resistance and tiny increments. All of this gives us a very clear physical confirmation. Then here we have the digital translation of those same feelings like haptic tap, that tiny vibration that feel like press their real button, long press feedback, a strong vibration that tell us something has been activated, notification pattern, different vibration, rhythms that communicate urgency or type of alert. So these small vibrations bridge the gap between the physical and digital worlds. They make interactions feel more real, more responsive, and honestly, just more satisfying. It's a great example of how micro interaction doesn't uh, just live on the screen. They tap into our sense of touch too. So after understanding the touch part, let's talk about another big thing. Knowing which micro interactions actually help and which one become annoying. Good micro interactions always have a purpose. Uh, they are there to help, whether it's give quick feedback, guiding us, or confirming something we did. They respond. They respond instantly. So we never feel like the app is lagging behind our actions. And then they say stay subtle. Subtle, like adding a nice finishing touch without pulling too much attention. And they are uh, context aware. They react based on what we are doing or what the situation needs. On the other hand, we have bad micro interaction, usually causes frictions. Some are purely decorative. They look nice but didn't serve any real purpose. Some are slow and laggy, which immediately breaks the flow, and other others are over animated with too much moments that distracts from content and tasks. And the worst one is in inconsistent. The same action behave differently in different places, which make the whole experience confusing. So our simple goal is good micro interactions support us quietly in the background and bad ones steal attention or slow down us. So micro interactions aren't just in apps or websites. They are everywhere in our daily life. The best way to understand this is to look at our day from morning to night. So, uh, Let's think about a normal day. First, a smartphone, where the day begins. First thing most of us pick up in the morning is our phone, right? We unlock it, swipe through notification, pull to refresh, scroll through apps. And every tiny vibration, every swipe gestures, every sound, and every little changes on the screen is a micro interaction helping us understand what happening. And touch, haptic sounds, these are the small signals guide us from every start of the day. Then we look at our wearables like our smartwatch. A small tap on the wrist tell us there is a notification, or rotating the crown gives a little feedback. Or another way, breathing guides pulse slowly to help us relax. So tap, rotate, pulse, these are tiny cue keep us updated without lifting our phone. Then when we go to when work begins, after that we move to our laptop, right? We hover buttons to see what's clickable. A click gives instant feedback. Scroll animation help us move through a page smoothly. And also keyboard shortcut feel quick and responsive. These micro interactions make our work feel easier and more natural. Then we get into a car. The dashboard shows small animations for speed or warning. That's the visual part. And parking sensor make beep sound when we get close to someone. That's the audio part. Sometimes the steering wheel or control gives tiny vibrations. That's the touch part. So visual, audio, touch, these small cues keep us aware and safe without distracting us. Then, once we reach home, micro interactions continue. A smart home. Lights slowly fade in instead of switching harshly. The thermostat gives a small feedback click when we adjust it. Doorbell chimes softly. Some devices glow to show a status. So fade glows are little signals make the home feel warm and responsive. And finally, voice assistants. Voice assistants means Siri, Google Assistant, or Alexa. They are listening and they show it with a soft light or a LED pattern. And a small pulse tell us they picked up the command, right? And a short tone or voice reply confirm they understood. So pulse, voice, light are the simple micro interactions that help a device without a screen talk back to us. So from morning to night, in our phone, watch, laptops, car, home device, and even voice assistants, all of these micro interactions guide us quickly through the day. They are uh, they may be small, but they make our digital life feel smooth, simple, and human. So when we look at everything we talked about from the first simple button click to today's smart and adaptive interaction, so we can see a clear story about micro interactions. So micro interactions started as very small action and a simple click or a little loading circle. Then they improved, they become faster, friendlier, and more expressive. Then began to guide us, help us, and sometimes even celebrate with us. Soon they spread everywhere. So now micro interactions are not just small details, they are the way digital products talk to us. And next step is even bigger micro interaction that doesn't just react but start to understand us. So imagine a world where the apps we use every day don't wait for us to press a button. They already understand what we want to do. That's where micro interactions are going. They will become AI powered, learning how we use a product and adjusting things on their own. almost like the product understand our habits, right? Nowadays, this is happening. So they will be context aware, change changing uh, based on our situations or our environment. For example, switching mode depending on the time of day and night, or noticing when you are busy and showing only what we really need. And they will become emotionally smart, reacting in a clamor supportive way when we are stressed, rushing or trying to focus. So in the future, micro interaction won't just be small animation. They will feel more intelligent, almost like they understand us, and also responding on their own, not only because we touched something. So before I want to end up with a quote that really brings everything together. Design is not just what it look like, but how it feels. The quote by Steve Jobs. So micro interactions may be small, but they change how a product feels. Every tap, swipe, and tiny animation add emotions and meaning.